Oh, yeah, this one's.
Okay, sorry, I had trouble with the mics. Thank you for coming. All right, Dave, we have a quorum?
Yes, we have 48 at least.
Okay, thank you. Okay, since we have a quorum, all delegates sitting down, give me a chance to sit down. Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order. Dave Fitch, we have a quorum. Minutes from the previous meeting. Alan?
The minutes of the December 2023 meeting were published in the Cobrua Reporter. Has anyone found any omissions, corrections, or additions to those printed minutes? Is there any objection to accepting the minutes as published in the Cobrua Reporter? Thank you.
We have to have a motion to accept the minutes. We have a motion to accept the minutes.
Accepts the minutes.
Okay, a second. Any questions? All in favor? Okay, it's okay. All right, the president's report is about the elections. We have Felix. You want to come up and talk about the elections, please? Felix is the chairman of the election committee.
Good morning. My name is Felix Wadish, and I am the election committee chairman. There will be an election for the Cobrua Group Board of Directors February 13 to fill 4 available slots. Anyone planning to run who has not turned in a declaration of intent to run for the office can be nominated from the floor at this meeting. In order to be eligible to run, candidate at the time of election must be a permanent resident of Century Village West and be a unit owner of record. A permanent residence is defined as the person who has resided at Century Village West for at least 9 months in the preceding calendar year, is either a member of the executive board or director of a constituent member condominium association of Cobrua. The following candidates have filled their intent for Cobrua Group: Mona Lind, Susan Meltzer, Sidney Schwartz. Do we have any nomination from the floor for Cobrua directors?
Yes, me. Me. I want to nominate myself for Cobrua, for Cobrua.
For Cobra. Cobra. Anybody else for Cobra?
Yes, just.
Mark Hoffman.
Mark Kaufman?
M-A-R-C, Hoffman, H-O-F-F-M-A-N.
Okay. So if the candidate wants to put a statement in the paper, your deadline is tomorrow, January 10. Your statement must be emailed to the Cobrua office either in the body of an email or an attachment Word document under 300 words. PDF, all caps, handwritten or scanned will not be accepted. There will be no exception. If there is a question for format, call Maggie at the Cobrua office at 487-0222 before 1:30 p.m. today. Thank you.
Mike, point of order here. She didn't hear you.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I think there should have been one sentence there that the nominations are now closed.
Okay, so now the nominations are now closed, and
Thank you.
2 more candidates are on the list. Thank you.
Okay, Felix, do you want to say anything about the Cobrua election or the M&O committee election? Yeah, well, you can remind them that next month.
So we have one more election for next month. Next month is for the Cobrua Group. There will be the election because we have 4 positions and now we have 5 candidates. But for the following March of 2024, we have an election for the Cobrua election and for the M&O. You'll have all the information If you haven't received it, you'll be seeing it shortly. But then again, we have one more election in February for the Cobrua, and one election in March for the Cobrua. Thank you. And the M&O.
Okay, thanks, Felix. Lynn, Treasurer's report.
Thank you. Good morning. Our checking account had a balance of $17,121. Our CD is $25,588, for a total of $42,709. Last month's balance was $43,272. One second. I had to withdraw from our CD $10,000 to replenish my checking account. Any questions? No? Our checking account. Thank you.
I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but this mic here doesn't work. Okay, security report. Is the chief here, or Annalise?
Good morning. My name is Jody, representing United Security. This is the month of review for December 2023. For miles patrols, 5,436. Pre-authorized calls, 7,330. Contractors, 485. And food delivery was 56. Do you have any questions?
I just had an incident in my building where a contractor showed up at 5:30 on a Friday afternoon. I had to kick him out. He was making a lot of noise. I'm wondering how he got in.
Were they here before 5:30? They got there.
Showed up 15 minutes.
What's your association?
Yarmouth C.
I'll look into that again.
Okay.
Alpha Harris Height. This morning at 9 a.m., I entered the village coming in from the Kimberly entrance, and the owner side gate was up. The line for the visitor side was backed up virtually to Lyons, and people were leaving the visitor lane, moving over into the resident lane. The arm never came down, and 4 cars who were previously in the visitor lane went through the resident owner lane. Why?
I'm not sure, but I'll review the cameras and look into it.
Hi, Dolores from Fanshawe. It's basically the same information, but the kids that you have roaming, the young boys who are roaming outside of the booth to check on IDs to see if people can get in with their IDs, or they don't have to be in the residence line.
Yes.
Sometimes those kids are not working.
Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you for letting me know.
I mean, it would help. It's great seeing them there, that they're going to get us into our residence line, but they're not doing anything. They're just standing around.
Okay, thanks for bringing it to my attention. I'll look into it. Thank you.
Al Goldberg from Newcastle. I want to just give you your roving patrol a compliment. They did a great job when I had to call them in an emergency. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dave, back here.
I need to grow another set of eyes.
Martin Fish from Rexford. I brought this up at a president's meeting. So I was in the owner's line, and of course there's a large backup in the visitor's line. In the visitor's line on the left, there were a lot of commercial vehicles that come here all the time, EMC, Pride, they were all in the proper lane. But in the, from M&S Exterminator, which was on the left side in the visitor's lane, shot out into the owner's lane and stood there for about 5-10 minutes till a rover came by and let him in. And meanwhile, the owners are backed up. If that occurs, I believe the owner, the person who cut in like that should be sent back out at the end of the visitor's lane. Or that we have some type of system where people who come in all the time into the village pay some type of fee to be able to use the owner's lane. Thank you.
We're gonna do anyone who has anything for security that's not a delegate up front, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and delegates. My name is Fred Hadley, and I'm a resident of Cornwall E. And I would like to know if there is a village-wide policy regarding yellow license plate tags. When you renew your registration, they send you an adhesive tag that has the month and year of expiration. The reason why this came up is that recently I had neglected to renew my tag, and I noticed it, and I went onto the website, and it said you didn't renew your registration. So I did it right away, and I called the vice president of Cornwall, and I said, I don't want to get towed. And she says, oh no, this is private property. We do not enforce expired tags. Now I happen to follow the other Century Village, West Palm Beach, and I know that they do enforce expired tags. I know that because in the weekly blog, they have photos of the tags, and they say they were referred to the enforcement agency. So the question is, what is the policy in Century Village, Boca Raton regarding expired yellow adhesive tags on the license plate?
Security, we don't tow. If the building president or the association, if the building director or the association president wants to tow, they tow. We don't tow. We do reports and we submit it to administration.
But supposing the car is parked in this lot, that would not be association territory. Would you enforce it in this lot? This is a Sen West property.
Once administration.
Can't hear you. Can you speak a little
Once
louder?
administration approves it, yes.
What did she say?
Once administration approves it, yes.
But they haven't
Judy
yet approved it. Is that what you're
Judy-
saying? So the policy right now is no policy. Is that correct?
If Judy tells us to tow, then we tow. As far as associations, we don't tow.
Thank you very kindly, Jody. Appreciate it.
My name is Anita Wesley, come from Height C, and I know security is doing a great job, improved a lot since the beginning, but there's a problem because in the guests thing, there's going to be eventually an accident because all these cars are so backed up that they're going into the main road, and it's going to cause an accident. Now, my question is, there's a lot of renters here on seasonal. I don't understand why they fill out forms, fill out about 15 pages to be approved to live here for 4 months or whatever. Why can't they get a sticker and it will alleviate some of the people that are going there after 4 months, going to the guests when they could go to the residents. I don't understand why you have to be here 6 months. You get approved already, so what is the problem of giving them a sticker? I don't understand it. And also, it will alleviate a lot of that problem, because there is going to be an accident. I almost got into 2 accidents already because these cars are parked and they have to go into the main road. And I don't understand why they can't get a sticker.
They're reviewing it from the M&O meeting. That's not a security concern. It's not a security matter, but they have discussed it and they're reviewing it.
Okay, so eventually maybe it will be changed.
That's
Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
It's up to the committee, not security, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeff Lerner, Fanshawe A. Jody, on a couple of occasions I received notifications of a gate entry for somebody who I don't know, did not approve. Is there a process, like am I supposed to do something, like call somebody and say don't let these people in? Is there a number, or what happens when you get one of these notifications in error, and how does it happen actually?
It's a system at the gates. The guards are being trained on how to properly use the new system, and a lot of them haven't fully gotten the hang of it yet, and that's where there's concern. When that comes in, it's not them coming to your unit. The guard sometimes click the wrong button, and it sends the notice to your phone that they were let in when they were.
So again, is there something I'm supposed to call and say, please do not let these people in?
You can call the gate. You can call the gate.
It's probably too late at that point though, right?
Not necessarily, because most of the times that person is being turned around.
Okay.
They just click the wrong button.
Okay, so call the gate.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Joan Oletsky, Fanshawe B. I'd like to make a suggestion to have somebody at the gate with an iPad and be like 4 or 5 cars back to be able to let the people in, let them come to the residence and have it open. This way, there won't be such a backup. So if you have 2 people at the gate, especially during the high traffic areas, I think that will alleviate all the traffic being backed up onto one.
Okay.
Helen Squire, Cornwall E. I just want to say that the times that I have been told to go on the resident line is they always check my ID. They don't just arbitrarily let me in. So they are very vigilant in my experience. Thank you.
Thank you.
Regarding what was just said, since I'm an avid walker and I go in and out the gate many times, sometimes there's 2 guards outside, one right by the gatehouse and one further down checking the cars. Many times I see what was said. They look at their ID or whatever, and if it's something that they could approve, they let them go over to the owner's side. It's not so much cars are just going over there. I see them check 3 and 4 or 5 cars while one is waiting at the actual gatehouse to be let in. Thank you.
Dolores from Fanshawe again. Obviously, this is a very interested subject, and it needs more than a 2-minute appearance here. We've got to sit down, and somebody has to form some kind of a club, a group, or whatever, to talk about this situation. Obviously, it's not a minor situation.
Okay.
We can't keep bouncing back and forth. It's either one or the other.
Yeah, you're right.
Elliot Friedman, Lincoln A. A couple of weeks ago, my nephew drove me home. I showed, a guard came over, looked at the car, I showed my pass, and it was a terrible backup, so they told me to go to the other lane and we went right through. I thought that was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else speak now or for to hold your peace?
Okay, thank you, Chief. Okay, thanks, Dave. Bylaw Committee.
The President proposed an amendment to the Cobrua bylaws that would eliminate the clause in Section 5 that restricts the President from running for President a third time, from running for first Vice President a third, after having already been President twice, and from running for second Vice President after having been President twice. The committee considered the matter and after much discussion decided it's not a good idea, we shouldn't do that. But the executive board said, well, we're not bound by what the committee says, so let's discuss it. At the discussion at the executive board meeting, the executive board said, let's take a vote, and if we agree, we'll present it to the delegates on Tuesday's meeting. They said yes, 10 to 2, bring it to this meeting. So to this meeting, we brought a printed copy of the procedure for an amendment.
Point of order, please.
Yes, go ahead.
Elaine Harris, hi. My point of order is that you can't bring a consideration of the amendment today for any reading because you failed to notify the delegates with 14 days notice, which is in Article 12 of the bylaws, Section 2. I was hoping maybe you'd read it so we could clarify this.
It's up to the chairman. So you want the chairman to read that section?
Yes, I think it would be appropriate.
Okay, let him read it. There'll be no dancing in this room.
Alan, do you need a copy? I have a copy if you'd like me to give you one. Oh, you have it.
I have a copy of everything. What I'm going to do is turn the pages of the Cobrua bylaws until I find the section, probably Section 5.
It's Article 12, Section 2.
12.2.
Amendments to bylaws.
3, 4, 7, 9, 10, 11. This is good. I like that there's so much information. Article 12, titled Amendments to Bylaws. Amendments to the bylaws may be proposed in 3 different ways.
Alan, I'm referring to Section 2.
Section 2, proposed amendments shall be considered at 2 consecutive meetings of the delegates. For such meetings, not less than 14 days written notice shall be delivered or mailed or published, which notice shall set forth in full the proposed amendments. And then the rest is about voting. So the notice saying that this meeting was taking place on Tuesday, that has been up on the wall for 14 days, does not constitute?
It doesn't refer to this bylaw amendment at all. It doesn't refer that to a reading will occur. It's not on the agenda. The notices that were put up for Cobrua just say the standard one, everybody's welcome, come to the Cobrua meeting,
Well, what are you proposing?
that you would send out a written notice of meeting to the delegates with 14 days' notice, so 14 days before the next meeting. And then the reading would happen at the February meeting, and the second reading could happen at the March meeting.
Okay, hold on. Okay, what's that? Right.
This will serve as more than 14 days notice. Then at 14, then I should know that at the February meeting.
Yes.
We'll notify again, which would be more than 14 days before the March.
So we'll vote in February.
March.
My question.
Mitchell Schaefer, Brighton. If the bylaws indicate that they must be notified more than 14 days, this would be more than 14 days until the February meeting, and then at the February meeting, it could come out again, which would be more than 14 days at the March meeting, and then at the March meeting would be the vote. So this serves more than 14 days to February, and then at February, more than 14 days will be served again until March.
That's when you have to do it once, Mitch.
You're doing it now for February, then in February, you're doing it again for March. And then at March is the vote. So that would be 2 times that you would get notification prior to 14 days.
Okay.
Agreeing that we don't have enough notice here, and my only question.
Use the microphone, we can't hear in the back.
Hold it. One person.
I'm just next, David.
No, but she's responding, I know about
Okay.
you and I know about it.
This gentleman had his hand up.
With regard to what Mitch just said, I think he's suggesting that the paper on the chairs of the amendment would serve as a written notice for the February meeting as the first reading. And I'm questioning whether that counts as notice to all the delegates, considering that there are some that are not here. I don't know what the right answer is.
You only require a quorum.
Right.
So whether or not all delegates here is insignificant.
Right.
As long as a quorum of delegates is getting the notification, because a quorum of delegates will make the vote.
Okay, yes, go ahead.
Susan Ortsman, President. I questioned this at last month's delegates meeting, and you did say, yes, we're going to take a vote next month, meeting now. You did say that.
No.
And what's the point?
No.
I'm just saying that he said, yes, we're going to take a vote this month.
Okay, that's not crisscross here. It doesn't matter to me, I don't really care. Right. Right.
This is more than 14 days until the February meeting. So a quorum of delegates will be notified. And then at the February meeting, it will be handed out again if there is a quorum of delegates. And then again, they will be notified until the March meeting, which is 2 notifications more than 14 days prior.
Okay, we have some behind you delegates here. He had his hand up for a while. Yes, sir.
Ted Levine, Exeter. First question I have, Alan, can you reread the part about the notification to the delegates? It's in the bylaw that you just read. Because the presumption is that the notification has to be made available to all the delegates. The fact that it's here being stated, it's not even on the agenda. So there could be delegates here who may step out or whatever to go to the facilities or whatever they did, who may not be aware of it even though they signed in because they stepped out temporarily. This is not due to notification to delegates. I'm sorry. I've been involved with not-for-profits for decades and decades and decades, dealing with attorneys, dealing with bylaws, etc. Unless it's stated specifically in the bylaws how the notifications are to be served to the delegates, I wish you would read that again, Helen.
The text of Section 2 from Article 12 reads, proposed amendment shall be considered at 2 consecutive meetings of the delegates. For such meetings, not less than 14 days written notice shall be delivered, mailed, or published, which notice shall set forth in full the proposed amendment.
So if I may, if it has to be written, it's not written on the agenda, so it's not written anybody for presentation to the delegates. It's only the delegates that are here, and it's not within 14 days of this particular meeting. So I would, if I had a vote, I would vote that it's not presentable for this meeting.
Every delegate would be notified with this document if they chose to appear at the meeting. If the delegates do not choose to appear, that is not the fault of the organization.
In this case, excuse me. With all due respect, I still have the microphone. With all due respect, okay? There may be delegates when there is something definitive to vote on, like a change in the bylaws, who may have showed up and they're not aware of it. There may have been delegates that came in and go, oh, nothing to vote on. I don't need to be here today because it's not even in the agenda. So it's not in writing. It's not 14 days before this meeting. So it has to be somehow presented in writing per the bylaws, at least 14 days before the meeting and 2 consecutive meetings. And this would not constitute one of those meetings, based on what you read. Based on what you read. I'm not making up the rules. You read it, Alan.
The reading is delivered, mailed, or published, which includes putting it in the Cobrua Reporter and leaving it on the bench.
Was it in the Cobrua Reporter?
What's that?
Was this text in the Cobrua Reporter?
No.
And when was the Cobrua Reporter put on the benches?
When was it what?
When was the reporter put on the benches? On January 4th is less than 14 days.
We didn't put it on the benches. It's put on the benches today, right?
There was it was on the 4th. So which is still less than 14 days.
Okay. I don't care. Dave, this woman wanted to say something, then we'll go on.
You said in the beginning that it was one of 3 ways. What are the other 2 ways?
A petition signed by the executive board, which includes all the presidents plus all the officers such as treasurer and financial secretary and so forth, and past presidents. So either the executive board could do it, or a percentage of all the residents in the entire village can come up with a petition and submit it, or the president himself can submit it. So those are the 3 ways. The president, 5% of the unit owners, or a majority of the executive board.
That is correct, but Section 2 would still come into play. No matter how the amendment was brought to everyone's attention, you would still have to comply with Section 2. Section 2 is the 14 days. And it seems to me something we've never run into before, but I would think that if it's put into, it can still make the next edition. The sheet that's on your chairs today can make the paper for February, and then again in March, and we can still have our election in March. It's a way to go, and I don't think that there is any answer that's going to be found in what's written, and I don't think we're going to go to court to find out. I mean, we've got a situation here that basically does not have an answer, so I think it's up to us to just find a way out and take a vote on that. And my suggestion would be to put it into the paper. It'll make the February paper if it goes in tomorrow.
Point of order that needs to be addressed as opposed to going on to
doing other.
Can't hear you.
We're in the middle of a point of order,
That's true.
so we need to address no 14 days. I think we don't need to do that part yet, what you're suggesting.
Well, actually, we can't do your point of order unless we provide, it would be better to provide a way to do the 14 days, which is what I'm suggesting.
The bylaws clearly say in section 2.
Give it a microphone, we don't hear back here.
You know,
What's the point of a meeting if we can't hear the people?
Agreed. But
It only brings the mic to their people.
I'm simply saying that it's clear that we can't address this amendment today with the delegates because there has not been 14 days written notice. I think that's period, end of sentence. We can go on to, really you could do anything you want to send the notice before the next meeting, as long as you comply with section 2. It's simple. I don't think it requires a lot of.
Section 2 would allow for publication in the report.
I honestly don't think it does. I thought that was weird to hear that, but.
No, it says.
Published.
Delivered, mailed, or published. So we would be conforming if it goes into the next edition.
Again, you can't guarantee anybody's getting it.
I'm turning this back to our chair.
And I'll repeat, I'm not clear if the Cobrua report is adequate. Maybe an email to all the delegates. There must
We'll
be a
check
list.
into it and find out.
I think that's a great idea.
Right. So, yes, ma'am. That's the last question on this.
To provide cooperation to our board, I will personally make sure that all the Dorset delegates receive copies of this in person today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll look into it and see. Anything else in the bylaws committee? Okay. What's that? Okay, Stan, M&O, Community Affairs, and Cable.
We'll start with cable first, that's the easiest. For all those who do not watch Channel 63, Channel 63 is now 1075. So if you want any information as to what's going on, that's the new number to look for. We tested it, it works, it needs some improvements. Any questions on Comcast?
Well, wait, look at
Wait a
you.
minute.
Hotwire will come up after Stanley.
Hotwire will get their turn.
It's right here. Hotwire Committee.
Even though I'm a Hotwire participant now. 1075 is the new Channel 63. For Comcast.
What's the number for Hotwire?
The Hotwire Committee is coming up right after Stanley, so you can ask them.
Thank you.
Okay, community affairs. The West Boca Council met with a representative from GL Homes to go over the situation of what they're doing currently and what they're going to be applying for. With the current work alongside the school, there's, when you leave on Lyons Road, eventually when it's completed, there'll be no left turn going into Lyons. This will help alleviate some of the traffic. They're also own the property right across the street on the other side of, which is a small area, about 70 acres. And they're going to be going before the planning board to get permission to go ahead and, build homes there. It's not going to be single-family homes. It's going to be townhouses. It's going to be it's going to be a three-family townhouse. It's basically be condominiums. For some reason, a technicality, they cannot have single homes. So the entranceway to the other project, if it's approved, will be at the traffic light where you have by the school. That'll be for residents. The other entrance will be for all non-residents and commercial traffic. We asked the representative from GL Homes to come up with how he plans on alleviating any traffic problems, because it's going to be one heck of a mess. So we're waiting for his report, and we want to review it and then take it up with the proper authorities to see how it's going to work. But right now, my personal feeling is it's going to be a mess. The project that they were planning on doing will have about 900 families, which basically I would say you'd have over 1,300 additional cars coming into the area, besides what they're doing right now, which was reduced from 700 down to 600 some odd families. So it's going to be a lot of traffic, and hopefully we can come up with some solutions, or maybe our elected politicians can help us out. Any questions?
Liam Odell from Exeter. The GM meeting scheduled for next week or this week on Thursday. Where is it going to be located, and how do we get to go to it?
It's probably up in West Palm, where all the administrative buildings are.
Yeah, Larry Krakauer, Exeter. I'd like to know what progress, if any, is being made about putting an entrance on Yamato Road.
In respect to what? To what we just mentioned on the GL project?
No, about an entrance to residents on Yamato Road.
Well, that's another issue, so which we didn't discuss it at the West Boca Council meeting.
What is it for? Do you know?
We're waiting for the GL report to see how they plan to alleviate the traffic problems. And one of the issues could be something on Yamato Road, but that's that's up to the county and the water commission, because the water area doesn't belong to the county, it belongs to the water people. And you have to cross that territory.
Regina Rapicella from Guilford Association. On that point, Stanley, for us to be thinking of another exit program for Century Village, so folks maybe to leave that entrance exit as only an exit, for us to get out without using Lyons Road, should be first and foremost for us to circumvent any more atrocities that are going to come to the people in Century Village. So I'm hoping that right now you can start with M&O, maybe get a committee to talk to all the people that are involved with getting that happening. Because we can't wait for traffic jams and then just say, oh gee, I wish we had an entrance on or an exit somewhere else. We are definitely facing a concrete jungle. You think it's bad now coming in and out of Guilford because of our gate. Wait till you try and leave and go just down to Glades Road on Lyons Road. We need to be proactive, and we need to get our ducks in a row as soon as possible, I think, so we can be prepared to have some kind of another exit or entrance program for our village people. Thank you.
Stan, did they have something about 95 down by the library, but they voted against it? Did they have something about the entrance on 95, I believe it is, by the library? And the people voted against it?
Yeah. It was 95th Street you're talking about.
50, right.
You know, that was voted, that wasn't approved, unfortunately. So right now, the entrance and exit will be one on 441, which will be for residents only. The one on Lyons Road, and I'm talking about the project that's being worked on right now, will be for non-residents and all commercial traffic. The only bright spot, if you look at their other communities that they built further up on Lyons Road, they have a long driveway going into the premises, so that should alleviate any traffic backing up, similar to the problem that we have because of the short driveways. So we'll just have to take it up as it comes along and see how we can get our politicians to help us out. That's going to be the answer, really.
I have a request into the county to do a traffic survey at our front gates. And they said that they're gonna start this month in January, because that's when everybody's down here, between January and March. So we'll see what they say about the survey, about our entrances on Lyons Road. I had suggested, and I don't know how we're gonna do it, but for 3 years I've suggestion that we have another entrance off of Yamato. And, to see if it's possible. So we're looking into that on the M&O committee. It's very expensive to have an entrance just for residents off of Yamato Road. Come in that entrance, because I don't know how we're going to alleviate the traffic here, because we have to move the buildings back, and that is going to be a lot of money and a lot of distance, and where are we going to do it? So this is a big problem. So I don't know, we're going to have a problem even without that there. So I think we should look into the possibility of it having an entrance on Yamato Road. I really do.
Helene Harris, hi. I just want to echo what Regina said. Perhaps a committee should be set up now, so you get all the input from delegates, some representative group, to work with you before you go to politicians or wherever you're going to next.
You got a committee, it's the M&O committee.
Could it have a subcommittee?
Why do you want a subcommittee when the M&O committee is doing a good job?
I think because people are so agitated and concerned that they want to make sure this doesn't get pushed aside for a month at a time.
Are you saying the M&O committee is pushing it aside?
I'm saying that the next time this would come up to the delegates would be in February, a month from now. So all the people who have something to say might like to have a committee that could...
Tell me what you're going to do between now and the next meeting that the M&O committee can't do.
Brainstorm.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm not.
Well,
The answer to this whole thing is, any suggestion that you have, you put it in writing, and you give it to the administrator, which is Judy Milligan, and she brings it to the committee. Or if you want to send it directly to the committee, your suggestions, we take it up at our meeting. If you read the settlement agreement, it's the responsibility of the M&O committee to work on all these things, and we can take suggestions which we'll gladly accept. There's no reason why we shouldn't. So that's the answer to your question.
So I think the delegates need to decide if you want more representation and something like that.
Time out.
I'm finished.
The delegates don't decide.
Again?
The delegates don't decide if they want more representation.
Well...
More representation where?
How?
On an issue that matters, that seems of more pressing urgency.
We already have a committee. We have the M&O committee who the delegates selected.
I'm happy to just...
That's it.
Down.
I gave you the answer. That's the answer. No.
Where's David?
Okay, that's the answer. Thank you for the suggestion. Okay, Stan.
Okay, I forgot where I am. No, I'm kidding. The M&O report. The committee met with management on Wednesday, December 20th. Present was Judy Milken, the Vice President Administrator of said West Communities. Monica Wells, the Senior VP and Chief Financial Officer for Senville, and Dan Cruz, VP Regional Facilities Manager. The water main project that which the county took over is progressing. What we've asked that they notify association in advance that they're coming to rip up the area and install the backflows. If there's any damage done to your property, please notify the Senwest administration immediately and that'll be taken care of. Water meters, they expect to start installing in the beginning of this year. So if it's not January, it'll probably be February. The front of the clubhouse, the renovations is moving along. There are a number of changes that came up. There were adjustments due to what the county came up with. So the end date now is March, early March. Any other comedians want to say anything? We asked the landscaper, Maximum, to come up with some recommendations how to fix up or close up the Lions area section. You have a lot of trees that are empty, bushes that need repair, so we're waiting for his report. We're also looking into the area around the fountain, see if that needs any landscaping repairs, and that'll be taken up at the next meeting. There was a bus stop at Preston Way that was moved to the other side of the road. We're now working on installing a concrete pad so we can move the shelter over to that side. With tighter security at the entrance gates, there will be a rover or additional guards to check credentials and allow non-decal residents to move over to the residence lane to have the traffic move at a much faster rate. So far it's been working. Nothing is perfect, but it's helped alleviate some of those lines. Collections from delinquent accounts totaled about $39,524. We've asked that Academy, when they replace a bus that is out for service, that they give us an equivalent type of bus with steps and accommodations that are comfortable as the buses are that we have currently. We've asked for a proposal on the handling of the iguana problem, which is all over the village, so that we're waiting for. Any questions regarding the M&O report?
Larry Krakauer, Exeter. I'd like to know why they can't put down either a rubber mat or indoor-outdoor carpeting near the indoor pool so people don't slip. I was told that's the reason why it's being closed, and it's obvious that this project won't be finished until almost the end of the season. I don't know why it's taken so long, but there was an article that said it would be ready by December. Did you mean in 2024?
When the county came in and made adjustments, it slowed down the project. The weather also slowed it down, so the fact that we were trying to complete it by December was not, the fault of our fault. It was just that there were various slowdowns and technicalities that had to be changed. And unfortunately, when you have projects this large, those things happen. And the pool was closed, so as people going in and out, it would become a danger with too many people with the heating element in the pool, so it was best not to have the pool open at that point because it became a walkway to get into the clubhouse.
So you're saying the indoor pool will be closed for the rest of the season?
The indoor pool will be closed until the renovations are completed.
That really makes no sense, but...
Well, I'm giving you an answer. What do you mean it makes no sense?
I mean, why can't they put indoor-outdoor carpeting?
That's not the answer. The answer is also you have to keep the temperatures going. You're going to have in and out traffic. So in order to keep it as a safety issue, it's best that you keep it closed.
Okay, thank you.
Two questions, please. One, from what this gentleman was just saying. You said there were changes from the county. I wondered if you could elaborate on that.
When the county inspects.
What didn't they like and what's gonna be different than what we think we're getting.
They wanted certain things to be changed in doing the front of the building, the concrete walkways. That slowed it down, and then there was some problems with the drainage that they thought had to be done in another manner.
And then going backwards to the maximum report about the fountains, et cetera, you had suggested last time that we talked to Judy Millington and put it in a report about trees missing along.
We're looking into that to see exactly where the spot is and what has to be done.
You know where the spot is, yes?
More or less, I know where it is, yes.
I mean, it's a big empty hole, and we've sent pictures to Judy, so if you need anything more, let us know. I just didn't want that one to fall by the wayside.
Nothing's falling by the wayside, it's just a matter of getting it done. Any other questions? Thank you, have a happy new year.
Okay, hot wire. Gina, do you have anything?
Can I open my mouth at some point at the end?
Hi, everybody. With Hotwire, we are basically at the end of installation process. But for those of you that have Hotwire installed already, there is a question on how to return your Comcast equipment. And it is imperative that you know you are responsible by yourself to get your equipment that's in your condo back to Comcast. So you can take it to the UPS store that's up there by Fresh Market on on State Road 7. You can also take it to Comcast store. You can call for an appointment to return it, or you can just drop it off at Atlantic and Lyons Road. And you need to have all of your equipment back in by January 10th. If you have some kind of a hot wire issue that you're not connected to hot wire prior to, I think they gave us another 5 days till the 15th, you need to call Hotwire or me and let us know that you're not fully hooked up yet to get your Comcast equipment back on time. Okay? That's imperative that everybody knows you are responsible. Otherwise, you'll be at a resale rate, not the bulk rate for your equipment and your Comcast service. Other than that, the pools and the Wi-Fi are still not up and running yet. There was some kind of legal things in the contract that are, I think I was told this week, are finally ironed out. So our pools for the 5 associations will be on target for installation very shortly. And for those of you on Hotwire that were misinformed, thinking the office would be in the clubhouse for Hotwire, it will be in the temple, and we will robocall all of you when the opening day of the office occurs. And channel 99 is going to be the Hotwire community channel. That too is not all the way installed yet, but it is coming. And again, when 99 and the office are open, we will notify everybody by a robocall or email for those of you that are still online with Hotwire with your accounts. They will be giving out a blast email for when the community channel is open. For the presidents of the 5 associations, I will contact you with confirmation on the meeting that we're having for our fiber drop cameras. That's in the works. It was set for this month, and I'm hoping to get confirmation of when that meeting will be very shortly. Okay, I'll text you as soon as we have confirmation of the day and time of the meeting. That's about it. Any questions?
gave out a lot of information to the people who were here. So the other people using Hotwire getting all the necessary information, specifically about getting them their equipment returned?
Well, I hope so. I really do. I know Guilford people know. You know, we rowboat them and let them know. Most of the 5 presidents are in touch with their people to tell them
If it's
that.
done through the presidents, that should be a way of doing it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good way. I think I got a letter from Comcast itself. So I just wanted to reiterate that because a lot of people really thought that Hotwire was going to return their Comcast equipment, and then they thought that Comcast was going to come and get it. So I was just letting people know, no, you have to return it. Anything else?
Make sure you get a receipt.
Oh, that's right. Anyone who does return it, take a picture of all of your equipment, and then when they give you a receipt, take a picture of that and keep it, so Comcast hopefully won't come back and tell you you didn't return something that you now have proof that, yes, you did return. Okay? Happy New Year, everyone. See ya.
Thank you, Virginia. Okay, Cobrua Group, Sid?
Actually, I have no report. I just want to remind everyone that the election for the directors of the Cobra Group will be next month. And as of today, there are 5 people running. They have till tomorrow to get an article into the Reporter, and they should be prepared to introduce themselves, even though you may know them, but introduce themselves again to you at the meeting in February, just before the election. Any questions? Thank you.
Anything under old business? Anything under new business? Okay, anything under good and welfare for delegates? Okay, good and welfare for residents? Where do you want them? Go down there.
Thank you again, Mr. Chairman and delegates. Once again, Fred Hadley, Cornwall E. I just want to make a comment on this proposed amendment that would remove the term limits. Right now, there is only one person on the planet Earth that is term limited in this organization, and he's sitting in the middle of the dais, and that would be the president of Cobrua. He has indicated on multiple occasions that he does not wish to be a candidate again. And yet, he is hell-bent on shoving this amendment down our throats. Now, what if you don't pick?
Wait a minute, time out. I'm not shoving anything down.
Okay. You are promoting
Right.
it.
And
Promoting it.
number 2, what are you afraid I'm going to run against you and beat you again?
You have
Fred?
free speech, and I have certain latitude under the Constitution of the United States, if you don't mind. Now, here is the point. This is constructive. The Cobrua Reporter rarely comes out 2 weeks before the meeting. I just checked the calendar for February and March, and you would have to be coming out before the month begins in order to have the 14-day rule. Since you cannot make this happen in time for you to take advantage of it at the February meeting, and since the Cobrua cannot be relied upon to provide sufficiency of the 2-week notice, I would suggest that, Mr. President, you withdraw your proposal at this time for whoever is elected in March, whether it be me or President Rosenfeld, will have 2 terms before they are term limited. So we've got 4 years to think about this. Why should we spend money on postage or postings and mailings when you will not be able to use that amendment at this time, Mr. Chairman? So please consider withdrawing temporarily your proposal.
Are we talking about elections?
Pardon?
Are we talking about elections?
What about elections?
Are we talking about elections?
I'm
Is that
talking
the subject?
about-
Wait, is that the subject you're talking about?
No,
elections?
I'm not talking about elections. I'm talking
Well,
about the amendment.
I want to ask you a question.
Sure, sure.
You believe in background checks, is that correct? That you view my
I believe in
background
what?
for years. Backgrounds. People running for office.
Background check.
You do mine, don't you?
I have no comment on that.
When are you going to use yours?
I have no comment on that.
No, you don't want
You're
to-
out of order,
Do you
Mr.
want to
Chairman.
tell us?
I am on the
Wait,
floor
wait a minute,
about
Fred.
the
I didn't
amendment,
interrupt you.
and you are
Wait a
doing
minute. I didn't interrupt you. When are we going to get your background check? When are you going to tell the people?
I am not going to answer that question because
I
the
want to
chair
know,
is out of order.
as an individual,
About
Fred,
background check.
as an individual, I want to know what
I'm not
happened.
talking about
Your
background checks, sir.
Jody,
And if you want to talk about background checks, tell them about your 7 felony convictions.
And let's go back.
Sir,
Let's go back to your short
costs,
towers. Let's go back
Sir, and civil
Right,
rights
that's-
violations.
That's,
Sir,
that's it, Fred. That's it.
thank you very much.
You don't want to talk about your background. That's okay with me. Yes. Yes, sir. Tell us who you are, please.
Yes, John Garrison, 80 Fan Shop Association, B Building. Okay, this is the 3rd year that I've requested that there be some type of assessment.
Can't hear you, sir. Put the mic closer.
Okay.
Thank
This is the 3rd year that I've requested there be some type of assessment. What would it cost in time and money to get electric charging stations for electric vehicles at the clubhouse? There's really no excuse for not at least evaluating what the time and cost would be, right? For 3 years, you guys in the committee have done nothing. You've just stalled and done nothing.
Nobody stalled.
You haven't done anything.
That's correct. We haven't stalled, though.
Well, what's the difference, man?
Okay, that's it. I got my answer. We're not looking
All
at...
right, how will you react to a petition of the Century Village residents requiring you to do it?
You can do that. Then we're going to petition the people who use gas, put a gas station in here. Yes, sir.
Mitchell Schaefer, Brighton.
Talk into the mic, Mitch.
Mitchell Schaefer, Brighton. I'd just like to go back again to the 14-day notice requirement. Every delegate is required to submit to the Cobrua office their email address, their phone number, their regular address. Maggie in the office has everybody's email address. Why can't Maggie make a mailing, an emailing of this document to everybody, every delegate, which would fall well within the 14-day notification? So all she has to do is send out an email to everybody.
Okay.
You don't have to publish it.
Okay.
It's automatic, that's it. She has every address.
Okay.
So she emails it to
I don't know if she has every delegate's email address.
She must have it. It's
I don't
required.
know.
Every president is required to submit to Maggie the delegates listing, which must include their email address.
I don't think they have it.
Well, then it's very simple for Maggie to take a look at the file. She knows how many associations there are. She pulls each association listing, take a look and see if every delegate has an email address.
Right.
If not, she can notify the president, I need the email address for such and such person, and then she can make a communal mailing of all the delegates at one time, which would fall well within the 14-day notification procedure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Elaine Harris, hi.
Yes.
In response to John's point about the electric charging, we do have some people in Hythe talking to FPL and trying to get a proposal set up, just so we have some idea of what's going on, and talking to
Are you
them.
going to install them?
Again,
Are you going to install them?
all we're doing is talking to them so we can come back with an answer for this person.
Oh, really? I gave him the answer.
I gave an answer.
I just gave him the answer. Why are we bringing this up again? I told everybody knows the answer. We're waiting for the same proposal.
Delegate and as a
Let
president.
me tell you something. We're waiting for the
No,
same
Mike, I
proposal.
don't want to hear it.
We're waiting for the same
No,
proposal.
that
Just a
some
minute,
people
just
are
a
looking
minute.
into it. I'm finished, thank you.
Yeah, you are finished. The proposal that you're getting, we already are doing. The proposal that you're getting, we already are looking into. Yes. I didn't say that it's being done. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. FBL and the M&O committee has been looking into this for months. Ever since the proposal was brought up before you, sir, there was another gentleman here that had an electric car, and we went to FPL, and we're still waiting for the same proposal that you're waiting for. That's what's going on. What's that? Yeah, well, you're getting a check in the mail like we are. Same thing, we both checked. Okay, anything else? Need a motion to adjourn, give him your name. Thank you.
Circus.